Guys, welcome to the channel. Today we're talking Starfield, and if you like Starfield talk, discussion, debate, news, anything like that, consider subscribing, sticking around for a while. I don't think you'll just be disappointed. We're going to be trying to make a bunch of it, so excited to have you. Thanks for tuning in. Today's topic at hand comes from nowhere else but Reddit, and I do involve myself in this community quite a bit. So a lot of the topics and things on this channel will be from that and me speaking to that. But um, a poster said today, could perhaps the frequency of the space among NPCs tell a deeper story, like cloning, and why? So this is kind of an interesting thing in the Starfield universe that I want to address, and I see quite a bit because there's also a lot of controversy on Korra, and is Sam Coe actually Korra's father? Um, the skin color of Korra versus the skin color of her father and mother doesn't correlate. What's going on there? And I think what people need to keep in mind in the Starfield universe, and poke all you want, Bethesda was lazy, they didn't use enough face models, blah blah blah. But one thing you got to keep in mind is the enhanced stations, right? The enhanced places in Starfield actually allow you to physically change your entire appearance. Like you can change your sex, you can change your skin color. If you mod like I do, you can change your species. Kind of like to play as a Star Wars alien, but that's a different story for a different day. The point being, you can completely change your weight, your height, your sex, your skin color, um, your face, your hair, yeah, your all kinds of things, right? Tattoos can magically appear or disappear. Piercings, same thing, with no scars left behind. So I think something you got to keep in mind when you're talking about the Starfield universe is you have this pretty clear explanation, and it led me to thinking about this because when I make characters, I like to try to make beautiful characters. I like to look at the characters that I'm playing as for hours and hours, and I don't want them to be hideous beast. With that said, a lot of times they end up looking similar, and I think if you go and you look at a lot of beautiful people in the world, a lot of them are what you'd consider beautiful, or some people would consider beautiful, I should say, because that's completely up to the individual and their opinions. There's a lot of similarities. If you go look at a lot of the popular actresses that are considered beautiful, they look very similar. So I don't think it's crazy. And same with like the males, right? The males are all big, tall, muscular, cut jaw, uh, similar haircuts most of the time, similar eyes, similar. I mean, check it out. I mean, our vision of beauty is, even though there's millions of ways you can look, it seems like you kind of get the same characters put in front of you time and time again. And just to go deeper with this, because I think this is kind of enjoyable, you do got to wonder if people's avatars for video game characters are all similar a lot of the times too, at least when portrayed and how they would like to look. 'Cause it depends. Like some people play video games. Like me, I like to make cool characters that don't represent myself, and I like to tell backstories of these characters and come up with cool characters. And that's why I love the Bethesda game so much, because it gives you so much freedom to do that. Like, my last playthrough, I was a pirate, had a whole backstory. I actually used a mod to start as a pirate, and then now I'm playing as a smuggler. I have a totally different mod set. She's a totally different species. Uh, you know, she's a criminal. She lives in space. She doesn't have family. She doesn't. So like we kind of change the backstory every single time, and I think that's part of the fun. But coming back to it, if you're an individual that kind of builds out your video game character as your perfect image of what you would like to look like, I think a lot of males would want to look like that Chris Hemsworth physique, Thor type of look, and I think a lot of women would love to look like Cindy Sweeney or something like that. And so I don't think it's that surprising that if we had the technology to look however you want to look, it doesn't matter how you started out looking. In the world of Starfield, you go into Enhance and you can look exactly like you want to look, which is kind of interesting, honestly, on why some of the characters look the way they look. They just look that way. At the end of the day, or they didn't. I guess you have people that maybe just decide they don't want to change the way they look. But in a world where you can choose to look however you want to look, and a lot of people probably do, I don't think it's that crazy to think that all of a sudden you'd have a bunch of dudes that look similar, that were all in a similar physique with a similar jawline, similar hairdos, similar eyes. You know, their form and the world's form of what's attractive, and the same with women. You know, probably a lot of women with the same exact body proportions, the same exact face structure, the same exact hair, the same exact voice. So it's very interesting. It's not cloning, in my opinion, though. It's interesting that the community calls it cloning. It's not cloning. It's just you truly have the ability to look the way you want to look, and it's not that surprising to me that a lot of people kind of look similar. So that's all I got today. I'd love to know what your guys' opinion is on it, and try to have some fun with it. Tell me why it's stupid. Tell me why you also think it's kind of clever. Obviously, guys, don't beat me up too much. I'm just trying to have fun with this. The real reason, you take lore and fun out and try to justify it is probably we just didn't put a lot of face models in the game. But, I get it. I get it. But I'd love your opinion on it regardless. I really appreciate you if you stuck around this long. And if you did stick around this long, maybe stick around for a few more, if you want to. And subscribe, follow. And if not, no worries whatsoever. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you on the next one.